Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. Well, Happy New Year everybody. It's the start of 2025. And in this game, I'm going to be showing you another variation of an Academy team composition. This is taken from a normal game. It's a game where I didn't start out thinking I was going to play Academy. I was actually planning on playing a Rebel team composition in this game, and then things went pretty badly while trying to play down that line. And so we're going to see the great 6 Academy Bounceback in this game. Like I said, this is a game played over the long winter break of Teamfight Tactics. This patch has been in place for, I think, about 2.5 weeks at the time that I played this, which I think was like, I think this was actually played on New Year's Eve, and then I'm casting this on New Year's Day. And the video is going to go up, I think, on the 2nd at the beginning here of 2025. I haven't played, I've said this before in some of the other videos, I haven't played a ton of Teamfight Tactics recently. I actually would like to play a bit more, but as many of you know, we recently had the birth of our second son, and so we can't always rely on having a lot of free time. There was one night that Grillo and I were going to play a game, and we were all set up and scheduled to play, and then little Charlie had a bit of a meltdown, and I was just unable to play because the alternative would have been leaving my wife to deal with screaming baby all alone. And while that might have been good for TFT purposes, I would have been a kind of a lousy husband if that had been the case. So anyway, trying to squeeze in some games here and there. At least the holidays are mostly over by this point. The holidays were a little bit crazy, so I might have a little bit more time for this afterwards. Okay. As far as this game goes, we have gotten the Jinx encounter, which means that we are playing Scuttle Puddle. It literally is Scuttle Puddle. We're just like straight up playing Scuttle Puddle, which means that you get additional loot from everything. All of the minions are replaced by crabs, and they always drop at least 1 gold coin extra. And on top of that, you typically get a lot more items. And it's going to be a high economy game. So that was kind of the thing that jumped out at me from the outset. This is going to be a high economy game. And that should dictate your thinking a little bit, because there are some team compositions that play better in high econ lobbies and some that play worse in high econ lobbies. And here I'm going to sell these bruisers because I decided I wasn't going to play bruisers, and I did want to get up to 10 gold. All right, so first augment time, and it turns out that it is a silver augment. And I see right away that power up is listed here. Your next augment is 1 tier higher. So I can basically sacrifice a silver augment here in exchange for getting a higher tiered augment for the next one. I'm hoping that the next one will be gold, and that I will lose a silver augment, but I will gain a prismatic when everyone else has a gold. And that tends to be a really good trade if you can pull it off. So I'm going to go ahead and look to do that. And that means that I get nothing out of this initial augment. So I'm probably not going to be super strong at the beginning of the game, but again, still, it is only a silver augment. So that is the hope there. Now, remember, I was talking a little bit about high econ lobbies. As I said, this means we're going to have more money than normal, and you can just see that right away because I have already leveled to level 4 right off the start, and I'm also holding, let's see, a Trist pair, a Vex, and then a Aurelia pair, and a Zyra pair on my bench. That is what, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm holding 5 gold on. I've already leveled to level 4. I'm holding 5 gold on my bench, and I'm still at 8 gold. So I almost hit the 10 income breakpoint, even with me leveling to level 4 and holding 5 champions on my bench. So like, there's just going to be more econ in the lobby here than in most rounds. And so, and by the way, it looked like I did not think I would win this fight because I have so many 1-star units, but I actually do win this one. I guess it's because I was level 4 and they were level 3, and then I'll sell the Zyra to get to 10 gold, so let's go. But as I was saying, it's a bit of a high econ start, and one of the things that I am going to try to do with this is I am going to try to play towards a Rebel game. Now, Rebel is one of the big vertical team compositions here in set 13. It has 8 units in it, and it's intended to be one of those kind of like more newcomer-friendly team compositions in the sense that you can literally just grab every single Rebel unit. And you can see here I'm highlighting some of them here. The idea is you can just kind of grab every single Rebel unit and just play all of them, and you can still do reasonably well. That said, normally the team composition is a little bit tricky to play because the 1 and 2 cost rebels are pretty bad units overall. Like, you don't really want to be playing Akali and Set and Vex because they're all really bad units. And the only reason people play Aurelia in the late game is because she has Sentinel trait, and Sentinel's kind of overpowered in the current patch version that we're playing. Plus, there's an internal rebel synergy with Irelia and with Alawi. They are both Sentinel Rebel. So if you're going to play Alawi, which you would want to do, she's one of the best tanks in the game right now, then you would want to play Irelia as well because they're both Sentinel and they're both Rebel. But the other low-cost Rebels are pretty bad. Vex, Akali set are all pretty bad units overall. By the way, look at this shop. I already have Lux 2-star, and I get 3 more Luxes here. I was like, do I pick up all these Luxes and just go for Lux 3-star? Lux is a very strong 1-cost in this patch. I thought about it for a second. Ultimately, I decided not to because, again, I was thinking that I was going to be playing towards Rebels in this game. That ultimately will not be the path that I go in this one. But if I had known I was going to go heavily into Academy later, I would have just picked up all the Luxes, and I almost certainly would have had Lux 3-star, which would have been fun, if not a huge difference-making thing. But at the moment, I was thinking that I would just play Lux here for the early game, because she's just I managed a 2-star Lux early just by dumb luck, and she's this very strong 1-cost unit in the current patch. So I was going to just play her for a little while, and then I was planning on dropping her later on. So it didn't really make sense to buy Lux here and get 6 Luxes if I'm intending on selling Lux later on. As far as the other units that I'm playing, again, I'm trying to get Rebel units, but the only ones I've seen thus far are Irelia and Vex. I've seen 1 Vex and 2 Aurelias, so I can't even put Rebel trait in play yet. I kind of have Tristana being a pretend version of... By the way, this person has Lone Hero Lux. Actually, the last video I posted was Lone Hero Lux. So yeah, once it gets down to 1 unit remaining, I instantly lose this. I kind of have Tristana pretending to be Ezreal, who is a 3-cost Rebel and deals physical damage. I kind of just have Trist like filling in at the moment. I actually have an early Trist pair, so I was kind of hoping I'd just get another Tristana here for Trist 2-star, and then Trist 2-star could carry me through like stage 2 and probably stage 3. But I'm still looking to build towards that, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this glove. And because I have the Tristana, I'm going to build some items that would be good on like a future Jinx potentially, because I'm still trying to play towards a Rebel board. Anyways, I was saying before, so Rebel, it's one of the big vertical team compositions. By the way, there's another Lux in my store. Oh my god, that would have been 7 Luxes if I'd picked them up. But Rebel, one of the big vertical team compositions, the big issue is the low-tier Rebel units are really bad, so you don't want to play the low-tier Rebel units. That said, the high-tier Rebel units are actually pretty good. There is, you have Zoe, who's not bad. I wouldn't say Zoe's great. She is a 4-cost Rebel plus Sorcerer. I wouldn't say she's a great unit, but she's definitely playable. You have Alawi, who's a 4-cost Sentinel plus Rebel, as I mentioned before, who is one of the best tanks in the game currently. And then Jinx is a 5-cost. Like, if you can play all 3 of those units, then, you know, you got something there. And the team has so many units in it that you can build out a lot of different synergies. Like, you can add Quirky to the team composition, because Quirky will pair with Ezreal and get you Artillerist trait. You can play Ambessa is often turned into a Rebel if you can get a Rebel spatula item, because she has the Quick Striker, is that what it's called? Quick Striker or something like that ability. And then you can put that in play with Akali, who otherwise is just in there as a trait bot. So like there's other units you can I mean, you could even do like Malzahar on level for a 5-cost unit with Vex, although Vex usually gets cut from a Rebel board. So like there's a lot of different possibilities to play around what you hit, and Rebel gets much stronger if you can get an emblem for +1. Now the big issue with Rebel is Rebel 3 and Rebel 5 are terrible. They're just awful. There's very little point in playing them. Now Rebel 3 is pretty easy to get in, so you can splash in Rebel 3 on boards. Here's the description of what Rebel 3 does, by the way. Rebels always gain 12% max health if you put Rebel trait in, which I do not have in right now, by the way. After your team loses 25% of their health, a smoke signal appears, granting Rebels 60% attack speed for 5 seconds and extra power for the rest of combat. At Rebel 3, that's 20% AD and AP. So, like, that's okay, but it's not really something you would like look to play around. One of the big issues is Rebel 5 is absolutely awful. You never want to play Rebel 5. It does the same thing, except that the units gain, after the smoke screen goes off, they gain 40% AD and AP. I mean, it sounds good, but it's really not. The data on Rebel 5 as a trait is just atrocious. So if you're going to play Rebel as a trait, you either splash it in with Rebel 3, or you have to get up to Rebel 7. Rebel 7, the big thing you gain is, after the smoke screen goes off, it is a board-wide stun of the enemies for 2 seconds. People in particular like playing Rebel with Victor, because Rebel 7 gives you a board-wide stun, and then as soon as that's done, Victor casts, and there's another 2-second stun of the whole enemy board. So you stun the enemy board for like almost 4 seconds with Rebel 7 plus Victor. It's pretty nasty. So this is, anyway, long story short, this is a trait that's not very good at lower tiers, but it actually gets pretty good at higher tiers. So it can be quite good in high econ lobbies, which is what this is. Ah, see, the story did have an ending to it. We did come full circle. So like I said, it can be pretty good in, and by the way, there's another Lux as well. It's not like my 8th Lux I've seen so far. Oh my God. But anyway, the point is that it's pretty good in high tier lobby, in a high cost lobby, in a place where everyone is getting lots of econ, and you can confidently expect to get to level 9, find 2-star Jinx, find 2-star Alawi, find 2-star Zoe, and then be able to splash in, like I said, Corki or Ambessa, or I don't know, any of the other units that might possibly fit in on a board like this. So that was the plan in this game. Now, is this plan working out? Not really. I've actually managed to, I won the first 2 rounds, which was pretty surprising. And I've managed to avoid losing that much in the way of health. You can see I'm on a 3-match losing streak, but I only lost 11 HP, which means those were all reasonably close losses there. So I was doing a good job of like not losing a ton of health, even though my overall setup wasn't very good here. But again, my problem is I just don't have 2-star units. I've been sitting on a Trist pair absolutely forever. I still only have 1-star Aurelia. I still do not have a Vex 2-star. I have not found any other Rebel units yet. Like, I literally have the 2 1 costs. I don't have any of the 2 costs. I don't have any 2 costs. I don't have any 3 costs. I don't have the 4 or 5 costs yet, although you wouldn't expect to have them. Anyway, so second augment comes back. It is, in fact, prismatic. So everybody else is going to get gold, and I'm going to get prismatic. Unfortunately, I don't really like any of these that much. I was thinking about buried treasures, but I thought that I would get enough item components already from this being a Scuttlepuddle lobby that I don't need even more item components. So it's got to be out of these other 2. And I was like, all right, I'll take the Blazing Soul. What is it? It's every round 4 units in the back lines. Up to 4 units in the back row will gain, I think it's 35 attack damage and 40 ability power. Units in the last 2 rows, up to 4 of them will gain 35 AD and 40 AP. I mean, not bad, but this really was not what I was looking to find. Was not that good. And there was another one that I think would have been a little bit better. It was the one on the left-hand side. I can't recall what the name was, but it was the one that was going to give me, it was like at the start of combat, 1 unit would gain additional stats, and then every 3 seconds another unit would gain that as well. In retrospect, that probably would have been better because I am building somewhat of a stall comp here, where I'm playing behind like this 4 sentinel line that's very tanky. So that probably would have been a little bit better. Like, I'm not getting a ton of value out of this prismatic augment, but it is what it is. Like I said, you do what you can, but you can only hit so much. Unfortunately, this person is apparently taking all the Aurelias out of the pool because they have like 7 Aurelias, and I can't even find 3 Aurelias for Aurelia 2-star. But like, look at this. Again, I cannot find Rebel units. I have 1-star Aurelia, 1-star Vex, 0-star set. I have not seen a single set. 0-star Akali. No Akalis. Not even a single Ezreal yet. Again, the Rebel tiers are 1-1, 2-2, 3, 4-4, 5. So 2 1 costs, 2 2 costs, a 3 cost, 2 4 costs, and a 5 cost. I can't find more than the 1 cost, and I can't 2-star any of these units. This is like the most egregious low roll I've had in a while. I just can't find anything. I was like, oh my god, what is going on here? And the other thing that's even more maddening about this is I'm scouting the lobby. No one is playing Rebel. Like, okay, there are some people who are taking like Aurelias out of the pool because that person's re-rolling for, I think, Singed 3-star. One person has the Singed carry augment, and they're rolling for Singed 3-star. But, like, no one is playing deeply into Rebels. I have checked. Nobody is really going for this. So it's like, what the heck? Why can't I find any of these units? I'm now on a 6-match loss streak. I mean, I do get to pick first here. So it's like, all right, maybe there'll be a Zoe or an Alawi on Carousel, and I can look to grab one of them. But no, nothing like that is the case. I was like, oh, man. Well, I can get anything I want, but I don't really see that much that I really need here. It's like, all right, I guess I'll go ahead and take a bow. And the reason for that is I wanted to do something with this rod. I'm still playing through the Trist for right now. And one of the better items I can make on Trist is a Rage Blade. I could always put that on Jinx later on if I'm sticking with this Rebel thing. And it's just like, Trist is the only unit that's doing damage. So I'm trying to play through the Tristana right here. But like, look, every single unit on my board is 1-star except for the Lux. And I found 10 billion Luxes. Okay, there's finally an Ezreal. So I will go ahead, put the Ezreal on the board, and that will get Rebel trait in. And I decided I needed to roll here on level 7. I was like, I've got to do something. But where are the Rebel units? Where are they? I'll put Rebel trait in. like, they just are not showing up. And then now Triss comes back as soon as I've sold her. I was like, okay, at least I've managed to get 2-star Loris. So, okay, I'll move these tank items over to Loris. A 2-star Loris is going to be way better at holding tank items than a 1-star, what is it, than a 1-star Aurelia. Let's go ahead and put some of these tank items on, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some of these items over here, and I do need to item remover the Rage Blade off the Lux. So I am using up my item removers here. Probably more than I really would have liked to have done, but it is what it is. I put that rod on Lux earlier. That probably shouldn't have just put one rod on Lux. I do also have Academy trait in play here, and it gave me an adaptive helm. So I'll go ahead and put that on the Loris, but like, do I have enough damage to kill this Darius? Okay, looks like I do. Ezreal, and by the way, Rage Blade Lux doing some real work here too. Okay, Rage Blade Lux does the most damage in the fight. I was like, okay, well, that helps a little. And if you're curious what the Academy items are in this game, we have Adaptive Helm, we have Infinity Edge, and then we have Redemption are our 3. So I do, in fact, burn the item remover so I can get this Rage Blade on the Ezreal. Now, I did think about just selling the Lux, but the problem is Lux is still my only 2-star unit aside from that Loris that I just hit. Again, I just cannot find these units. Again, where is freaking Set? Where is Akali? Where are these units? I can't find any of the Rebel units. It's insane how I can't find any of them, even though they are not being heavily played in this lobby. I still have Aurelia 1-star and Vex 1-star. Like, what is going on here? Anyway, this is just, this was just feeling like the low-rolliest of low-roll games here, as far as I could tell. So I do win that round, but winning that round probably was not great because I have been on kind of a big loss streak, and it probably would have been better to just loss streak all the way into the minion round and get a little bit of additional econ there. Again, I'm just trying to make my board feel stronger. This person's playing Renata reroll, and it's like, if I had some 2-stars, I think I could beat this because their board's not that strong. They do have what's considered to be Renata's perfect items up back there, but oof, I mean, I lose that round. All right, I finally have the 2-star Vex, and by the way, another Lux in my store. Like, what is with all these Luxes? Where was this when I played Lone Hero Lux in the previous game I put on YouTube? I could have had 3-star Lux on the beginning of stage 3 if I'd had this many Luxes in that game. I probably would have won that lobby because I would have hit Lux 3-stars so early. But anyway, yeah, again, I'm scouting the lobby. Is anyone playing Rebel trait? Nope, not really. So I was like, I mean, I've got to find these units. How can I just continue to find none of them the whole game? But again, it's a high econ lobby, so we're going to go to level 8 and we'll roll on 8. And we'll look to see if we can find them on level 8. By the way, look at all these units I get here, but none of them are units that are going to be useful for me. I mean, you could say maybe Nami, but that's about it. And then I get a little interesting bit here. I get a Heimerdinger. I was like, okay, well, I mean, I can play the Heimer. He will give me Visionary trait. I was like, okay. So I guess I'll go ahead and play this. Now I get the next Academy item. So I get an Infinity Edge there, and I really would like to get this on. I'll go ahead and make the Gargoyle Stoveplate. I really would like to get the Infinity Edge on Ezreal because Infinity Edge is one of the Academy items in this game. It would be very good to get that. So I'm going to go ahead and try to use the Magnetic Remover to pop this item off and put the Infinity Edge on Ezreal, but I don't quite get in time to do that. And I also did not have time to roll there. So I end up making the Death Blade here. Again, I'm still thinking I'm making items for a future Jinx here, and possibly for Corki, because again, you can play Corki on a Rebel board as well. Probably would have held off on making that item if I had waited a little bit longer. So like, anyway, my board is getting a little bit stronger, but it's still not looking great. Okay, come on, can we at least kill the Draven? No. Got him low, but couldn't kill him. So I'm on 49 HP, and this is just not looking good. I should also sell the Nami to get to 40 gold, but I think I forgot the Nami was on my bench here. So, all right, now our direction is going to change here with the last augment. I see this Academy crest, gain an Academy emblem and a Leona, and I was like, you know what? The Rebel thing, it's not working. It's just not working. So we are pivoting, and we are going into heavy Academy here. We're giving up on our dreams of playing a Rebel board. We're going Academy right now because I have Ezreal, I have Leona, I found an early Heimerdinger. This will actually get me 2-star Leona, so let's go. And we're going to try to play this, and if I can actually find a Jace, I can actually now play 6 Academy. So now the entire focus of the game shifts. And now I need to start playing around the Academy items, because when you go deep into Academy traits, you want to be playing around the Academy items, and one of them is Infinity Edge, so I have to make sure that Ezreal has that. Unfortunately, I have made the Death Blade, which is not going to be very useful at all in the setup that I'm running here. And now I really would like to get the I just gotta put Academy Emblem on somebody here. So I actually get a redemption out of this. I'll stuff that on the Leona. I actually would really like to get the Adaptive Helm off of the Loris, and I'd like to put it on Leona, or whoever's going to be my primary tank, just because it is one of the Academy items. By the way, I get absolutely crushed by this player, who I believe is win streaking through the lobby. Yeah, they're already on a 5-match win streak. They're playing I think they're playing 6 Dominators, and they have a 3-star Ziggs with Mana Zane back there, and they already have a 2-star Silco. So I was like, oh my god, that person looks very, very strong. And that, I dropped down to 36 HP, so this is not looking good in the lobby for me right now. Anyway, but like I said, when you're playing deep into Academy trait, the gameplay does shift a little bit, and I definitely need to roll here. So you need to be playing around. By the way, there is the Akali suddenly shows up, and then watch this roll down. There's a set. Okay, now I do hit 2-star Ez, so that's going to be helpful here. I'm looking here, and I'm like, okay, all right. What else can I get on my board right now? Let's see, I need to try to make more of the Academy items. It's very important I try to make Adaptive Helm and Infinity Edge and Redemption. Again, I've got a free copy of all 3 of them, but I haven't made any of those items myself. And if I'd been playing into Academy trait from the beginning of the game, I would have been trying to make those items. But as I said, I wasn't planning on going in that direction, so that's a bit unfortunate. Like I said, Academy trait's all about the items, right? The entire trait is based around playing those items. Here, I'll read the official trait description for Academy. I did a previous video on them, but not everyone may have seen that or may be familiar with this trait. The Academy sponsors 3 items each game. In this game, they are Adaptive Helm, Infinity Edge, and Redemption. Copies of sponsored items grant bonus max health and damage amp. So anyone who holds one of those items gets max health and damage amp. Damage amp increasing damage from all sources. Academy units holding sponsored items gain double the amount plus an additional 5% health and damage amp. So at lower tiers, the main thing that Academy does is it just gives you the items. Like, that's the main thing it does at lower tiers. It just gives you the items. But at higher tiers, it's really important to play around them. Like, if you're at Academy 5, or I'm hoping to go to Academy 6 in this game, you need to be making those items because they give just incredible stat bonuses when you're at the higher tiers. So right now we're at Academy 5. Academy 5 is, if you're holding one of the sponsored items, again, in this game, although it changes from game to game, in this game, that is Adaptive Helm, Redemption, or Infinity Edge, the units gain 5% additional health and 5% additional damage amp. By the way, I took a Malzahar off Carousel, and I'm just going to play the Malzahar. By the way, I find an Alawi, and that's good. We'll play that over the Singed for right now. And now we're going to rattle down and see what else we can get. I decided I would just pick up extra Ezreals because why not? I'm already on 5 of them. And I did think about playing the Corki. I need to put this Academy emblem on somebody. So for right now, I believe that I go ahead and put it on the Alawi because I want her to be my tank later on. And now I get a redemption. And oh, I put it on the Leona. I think I should have put that on the Alawi overall. Yeah, I should have put that on the Alawi. One thing I did not know at the time, but I have since seen streamers do, is if you want to shift around the free Academy items, all you have to do is bench the Academy units and then put them back on the board, and those items will pop off for free. I actually did not know you could do that, but they're like the Shimmer Scale items from set 7. If you just bench the units and put them back on the board, you can shift around wherever the Academy items go. All right, now it's time for the anomaly here, and so I've got to find a good one. Let's see, it's definitely not Heavy Hitter. Call the Weak, no. Freestyling, I don't think that's it. Share, no, none of these quite work. No. Heimer could have maybe gotten the 40% more AP, but I didn't think that was right. Deep Roots gain 700 health, 25 armor, and 25 MR. They cannot move or be stunned and pull their targets into range. I was like, okay. This sounds good. So I do luck out in one regard, is I hit an early Alawi 2-star. By the way, here I could have I wanted to shift this redemption over to Alawi. I could have simply benched the I could have simply benched all my Academy units and the items would have popped off because I want that Adaptive Helm to go on Alawi as well. I just did not know that the mechanic worked that way at the time, but that's why I'm doing the video, so now you know. All right, we have 5 Academy in play. So when I put one of those sponsored items, like I have the redemption on Alawi, the units will gain 5% damage amp and 5% additional health. However, remember, Alawi is now an Academy unit as well because I put the Academy emblem on her. Remember, Academy units holding sponsored items gain double the benefit plus an additional 5% health and damage amp. So Alawi gets the 5% base from having redemption. She gets another 5% because the base 5% gets doubled because she's now an Academy unit. And then she gets another 5% because that's the flat 5% that Academy units get when holding an item. So Alawi has 15% bonus health and 15% bonus damage amp right now. And I also gave her an anomaly that gave her 700 additional health. Alawi's main thing is she is a Sentinel unit. She has Sentinel trait in, and she has Rebel trait in. She has both of her traits in, and she's activating this 5 Academy bonus as well. So Alawi, and she got 700 health and additional armor and was it 25 armor and MR from the anomaly. So Alawi is absurdly tanky in this game. And if I can find a Jace and put Jace on the board as well, that'll get me up to 6 Academy. That's going to be absolutely insane. So now I'm just trying to go to level 9. My offense is still not great, but that Alawi is freaking tanky. Tanky. All right, and again, look at this ridiculous amount of loot. So now what I really want to do is I want to make more of the... And by the way, this is 7 Ezreals already. I just go ahead and power to 9 right away. I need to make, and I'll put Corki on the board for right now, but boom, Jace shows up instantly. Let's freaking go. But again, what I really need to do is I need to make extra copies of the Academy items. So it's really important I make those Academy items. So I'm going to go ahead and I will make the adaptive helm there. And I need to get one of these items on Jace. Now, unfortunately, none of them show up as options. I was actually disappointed here. Now, the odds weren't great because I think there's like 27-ish items or something like that, and you only see 5 of them. But I was really, really hoping that I could find one of those sponsored items and put them on Jace. Unfortunately, I don't get that option. And now I get the chance to put pull something else. And unfortunately, once again, the rod that Lux was holding is not going to turn into any of these Academy items. None of them build out of rods. Again, Adaptive Helm, Redemption, Infinity Edge. They build out of Sword and Glove for Infinity Edge. And then the other ones build out of Tier plus Belt and Tier plus Cloak. So no option to make more of them. But I really, really, really need to get one of these Academy-sponsored items onto Jace. Oh, and by the way, boom, Jace 2-star. Let's go! Also onto Heimerdinger as well. I need to get these items on them. They're just so valuable. Again, remember, now we have Academy 6 in. Academy 6 is 9% additional health and 9% damage amp for the units holding these items. I mean, look at Alawi. So she gets 9% times 2 because she has an adaptive helm, so that's 18%. Then she gets another 18% for having the redemption. That's 36% plus the flat 5%. She gets 41% additional health and 41% additional damage amp. She has like 5,000 or 6,000 health right now. She is an absolute brick wall. And again, that applies to damage amp as well. If I can just get one of the sponsored items onto Jace, he will gain, 18 plus 5? He'll gain 23% health and damage amp. That's 23% more damage from all sources. Now, obviously, the best thing to put on him would be an Infinity Edge, which would be a really good item to put on him. But we're just going to have to wait and see what we can get. So I am really, and I mean really hoping that I can get some of these items, some of these sponsored items coming out of the various portals. Okay, I finally get Aurelia 2-star, and then Rumble pops up as well. So I was like, oh, cool. Well, let's move out of the Loris, and now I can move this Adaptive Helm onto Jace. That'll give him the damage bonus. And then I can look to go ahead and put this Gargoyle Stoneplate and Sunfire Cape on Rumble. Now, if I could get another Redemption or another Adaptive Helm, I'd love to put them on Rumble because then he would become like a carry in his own right. Or alternately, I guess if I could get another Adaptive Helm, I would probably put it on Heimer because... or if I could get an Infinity Edge, I could pop the Adaptive Helm off Jace, move the Adaptive Helm to Heimer, and then put the Infinity Edge on Jace. But it's just, I need to get more copies of these sponsored items because they provide such insane benefits when I put them on Academy items. And again, that's the difference between playing Academy 6 and just like splashing the trait. When at lower I said this before, but at lower tiers, you're just basically getting free items. But at higher tiers, you are playing around the items that you are getting, and you are trying to make more of them, if at all possible. So this game was looking like it was pretty doomed, but by getting up to the 6 Academy and high rolling the Alawi 2-star and then the Jace 2-star, I was pretty lucky to hit both of those, let's be honest. Alawi tends to be very contested. And Jace, I basically hit Jace 2-star the instant that I went to level 9. I am now freakishly strong. My Alawi just does not die in these fights. All right, what is on the carousel? By the way, there's a Rebel emblem right now. Hilarity, my Rebel game that never actually worked out. I really wanted the Rumble just to get Rumble 2-star, so that's not a possibility here. And out of the other options, I was like, I don't think I need more frontline. So I'll just go ahead and take the Rage Blade. It's not bad on Jace. It's not like amazing, but it's not bad. I didn't really like any of the other options right there. You could have said maybe like Morello's for Heimer, but I already had a heal cut on my board, so I didn't think I needed that. And Heimer is also only a 1-star unit there. So, all right, I'm looking through these units here, and okay, I don't see anything. Mostly, I'm just, so I did want to finish itemizing Jace. So Jace's items are pretty good. Again, Infinity Edge on him would be better, but haven't had the opportunity to get that. Look at this, 59% damage amp on the Alawi. What the heck? 31% damage amp on the Jace. What in the world? Now I just desperately need to get another one of these items and put it on Heimerdinger, so that, because he's like the only Academy unit that's not getting the benefit. Now, I've been talking a lot about all these Academy items. There is one thing I forgot about in this game. Do you remember my Prismatic Augment? Yeah, my Prismatic Augment gives 4 units standing in the back 2 rows. I think it's 35% additional AD and 40% additional AP. So 4 units standing in the back 2 rows get them. Well, look who's in the back 2 rows. Yeah, I have 5 units back there. Stupid Lux is hogging that benefit in most of these fights. So what I should have been doing is I should have moved Lux up to the 2nd row so that Lux would never get that benefit, because unfortunately, in a lot of these fights, Lux is taking that benefit for herself. Or do I actually have, how many units do I have back there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, I have 5 units back there. Oh, and by the way, I see a Soko in my shop, and I was like, okay, what's with this player who's win streaking? There's a player who's on this big win streak, Cosmic Balls. I was like, oh, they're trying to go for Soko 3-star, aren't they? I realized they had I realized they have Pandora's Bench, and oh, look at this. They're on 6 Sokos. I believe they're also on like 5-ish Elises. So I was like, okay. My board is really strong right now. Nobody has beaten me in a while. I need to take Sokos and Elises out of the pool, because I need to make sure that this person is not 3-star one of them. I'm pretty sure I can beat their board straight up, but if they hit like a Elise 3-star, Soko 3-star, I'm definitely not going to win if that's the case. So you can see I already grabbed the Soko, and I'm looking to take Sokos out of the pool at an early day, because they already have 6 Sokos. Like, I have to be on top of this. All right, here's the person playing Lone Hero Lux. Now, Lone Hero Lux, really, really strong when she's the last unit alive. However, Lone Hero Lux, she gets wrecked by crowd control. And you know what my Alawi does is she pulls people towards her when she targets them for the first time. Yeah, so you know what that Lux doesn't like? She doesn't like it when Alawi reaches out and grabs her. And that's exactly what I've got. So I am not concerned about the Lone Hero Lux. I know that even if Lux is down to the last unit alive, Alawi is going to take a ton of damage from that Lux. Her mana bar is going to fill up. She's going to reach out and grab the Lux. That'll stun her for about a second. And that 1-second stun is going to be enough for my team to kill them. So I am not concerned about that team at all. Right now, I am just trying to roll down and finish filling out my board here. I need to get another Heimer. Oh, did I hit the Heimer 2-star? I can't remember if I hit that. All right, time for upgrades on the Rumble. Rumble's 1-star, so I'll take the self-destruct button. Are there any of my sponsored items? No. I was like, no sponsored items. Okay. Well, if I can't do that, I'll take Heimer's best mana generating item, give him a blue buff. Any sponsored items? No. Again, no sponsored items. I pulled 3 item anvils, no sponsored items either time. I was like, really? Are you kidding me? I can't get even one of them? All right, now there's an Elise. I'm going to grab that Elise. Remember, I need to deny Elises to this player. And I'm going to keep rolling here, although I think I stop at the 20 gold. I would love to play Corky on this board too, but there's just no room to fit him in. I'd have to go to level 10. And I don't know if there's enough time to get to level 10. Besides, I really want to hit Heimer too, and if I can hit a Moles too, that would be nice as well. Moles is not critical for my board, but he is doing 2 things. He's applying red buff, so he's providing a heal cut, and he is also MR shredding for the enemy team. By the way, this fight's super close, but we managed to win, and that's a big deal, because that is the board that is trying to hit the Soko. He has 7 Sokos already. I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. And 6 Elises. 7 Sokos, 6 Elises. I was like, ugh. That's not good. All right, well, all right, I found another Elise, so I can actually deny the Elise 3-star right now. There's only 10 copies of these units in the pool. That is the units that are the... by the way, look at all these jinxes. Yeah, now I'm not playing the rebels and all these jinx units show up, of course. Now, could I actually find, like, another Heimerdinger here? Or Elise here? Okay. So there is another Elise here, but I actually don't have to buy this. If I hold 2 Elises, then it's actually impossible to make Elise 3-star because there's only 10 copies of the 4-cost units. So if I hold 2 of them, there's only 8 copies available, and that person cannot make Elise 3-star if I'm holding 2 of them. So I don't have to buy the extra Elise. That's why I don't bother to lock here. I just need 1 more Silco, and this person cannot hit Silco 3-star. They already cannot hit Elise 3-star. So that's also why I'm not bothering to try to go to level 10 here. It's actually more important to roll and try to deny them the last remaining Silco than it is to try to go to level 10. Because, like, I'm already going to win the game. I just have to make sure they don't hit Silco 3-star. I'm already going to win the game. By the way, look at Lone Hero Lux. Okay, well, I might be doing well against Lone Hero Lux, but that other player with Pandora's Bench is not doing as well. All right, so what else can we hit? Can I see any of these? I'm seeing a lot of 4-cost, but I don't need any of these. All right, there's a Warwick, but I mean, I can't do anything with Warwick. There's no way he can fit on my board. There's nothing I can take off that would be worthwhile. He's also the weakest of the 6-cost units anyway. Victor, I might be able to make... But, you know, if I had found Victor, I would have just dumped Malzahar. Like, I don't really need Visionary Trait. If I found Victor, I'd just dump him and play him over Malz. But unfortunately, it's Warwick, and Warwick is not going to do anything on this board. So, all right. Now we have the Lone Hero Lux player, but unfortunately this is a Ghost Round, which is bad because it means I won't deal damage to one of these players. I actually don't want to have Ghost Rounds right now because I'm the strongest in the lobby right now, so I don't want to have Ghost Rounds. I want to be dealing damage to the enemy teams. All right, let's see how the Lone Hero Lux player does against us. Looks like it's not really that close. Now it's down to just the Lux. But looks like do we have enough damage to kill her? It's actually closer than it should be, but we do overwhelm that unit. All right, now it's time for the non-ghost round. Is Lone Hero Lux going to win, or are the 6 Dominators going to win? Well, it looks like Lone Hero Lux wins, which is kind of silly. But I actually kind of wish that the Dominator board had won, because then I would have been up against them next round, and I would just hit them every round and hopefully get them out of the lobby. By the way, are there any sponsored items here again? No. No sponsored items again. I was like, what the heck is going on? Why are there never any sponsored items here? I also did check to see if there were any Silcos here so I could deny them, but no Silcos here. So yeah, even though it was like kind of funny, I think I would have liked to have had the Lone Hero Lux player just get knocked out of the lobby so I could just be up against the other player every single round. All right, by the way, so there's another Malz here, so I'll go ahead and lock for that again. I might as well. I mean, I might as well. Malz has really good items back there. If I could just get some of these sponsored items. I mean, how many anvils have I pulled and item carousels have I gone through where none of my 3 sponsored items have been there? It's pretty ridiculous. Like, Heimer is doing a ton of work, but he'd be doing even more work if I could get him one of my sponsored items, so... All right, now I'm up against the Lone Hero Lux player for real, so if I win this round, I do get them out of the lobby and knock them out. So, I mean, it was pretty straightforward in the last round. I won pretty convincingly. The big thing is, though, that was a Ghost Round, and Ghost Rounds are infamously bugged here in TFT, so that does not mean things will play out the same in a non-Ghost Round, but it looks like we have this one pretty much under control. The Lux is just down to her. Ah, she gets pulled, and boom. CC hits the Lux. She does not like CC. Down she goes. Unfortunately, the other player won their Ghost Round, so I was like, ah, all right. And is there anything we can buy here? Oh, there's another Ezreal. Okay, so I am actually on 8 Ezreals, and like, Ez is a legit damage dealer in his own right. 3-star Ez is putting out quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, this person is sitting on... How many Silcos do they have? They have either 7 or 8 of them over there. I'm not quite sure how many they have. So I have successfully denied the Elise. I'm just trying to deny this. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, they have 8 Silcos over there. I was like, all right. Come on, I just need 1 Silco. I've been trying to find 1 Silco for the entirety of Stage 6 so that I can deny them the Silco 3-star. All right, how does this matchup work? Now, they've put triple Warmogs on Garen, which is kind of funny. They actually have 4 Warmogs items over there, which I don't think they actually need that many. I'm aware of how Garen's ability works, but I don't think triple Warmogs is really that necessary. Okay, so this fight was close the last time we matched up, but it looks like it's not that close anymore. My board's clearly stronger. We're going to knock them down to 17 HP. So I'm going to go ahead and type here, because there's only one more round left in this game. I'm going to say, looks like it comes down to Pandora's Bench RNG. because I don't think this person can beat me unless they hit the last Silco. The downside is this is a Scuttle Puddle lobby, which means everybody gets tons of gold. This person's going to get additional gold to roll with. So I know we're both going to get additional gold to roll with. I am prepared to grab whatever gold is here, and I'm just going to roll as fast as I can to try to grab any Silcos that might be in the pool. Again, this person has 8 Silcos. I have 1 Silco. So there's 1 out there in the pool remaining. So I'm just going to try to pull this. Finally, there's an adaptive helm. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this. And now I just need to roll. Are there any Silcos here? Silco. Well, I hit Ezreal. And I'm going to hit the Rumble. So I was like, oh, wow, this is going great. But then, did you see it on the right side of the interface? Yeah, they got the Silco. Yeah, they got the Silco. Well, not much I can do about that. I rolled for it. I tried. I did my best, but Pandora's Bench RNG, they just rolled their way into the last one. So now they have Silco 3-star. I mean, I could go ahead and sell the Elises. I guess they actually have 8 Elises over there as well. So I denied the Elises, but I couldn't deny the Silcos. Now, does my board still have a chance anyway? I did manage to get the adaptive helm on the Heimerdinger. The answer is it's reasonably close, but no. Nope, the Silco did 12,000 damage. I can't, unfortunately, overcome the Silco here. I mean, I'll go ahead and take the Flamethrower here, but the problem is Silco 3-star, the numbers just, like, go absolutely through the roof with the Silco 3-star. His base damage goes up by 5 times. I know that's not a misprint. He quintuples his damage at 3-star, and his monstrosities have their damage quadruple. Also, this person didn't even use their item remover correctly. They actually have a Mana Zane, remember, on the... They have a Mana Zane on their, their Ziggs, and they just need to move that Mana Zane over to their Silco. So I believe they actually do that this round. Yeah, they actually move the Mana Zane over to the Silco, and they have double Shojins as well. This actually would be a poor build normally because it would leave you without enough damage, but the base damage on a Silco 3-star is so high, all he needs to do is just cast. It doesn't, he doesn't need AP, he just needs to cast, and so you can see what happens. I just get overwhelmed, and that's kind of disappointing. Like, I really love the game I played here, and I think it deserved to win the lobby, but yeah, Pandora's Bench, RNG. That person just hit the Silco, and I didn't, and that's all it came down to. I really feel like I did everything possible to deny it, and it just never showed up in my shop, and it did show up in his shop, so sometimes it plays out that way. Anyway, though, I did think that this was a really fun game. I think that I played back from a terrible, hideous low roll start about as well as I could and put together a team comp that was really strong. Just unfortunately, RNG was not with me in the end, but it was still a fun game. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, take care, folks. I'll see you again soon.